Yeah, thank you for joining us, Reggie.
Absolutely.
All right, so Reggie, let's talk a little bit about, so this is the second E3 in a row where you guys have kind of approached it differently. Can you give us a little bit of context as to why? Like,
Sure.
Why not go back on stage?
So this is actually the 10-year anniversary of my first E3.
Oh, wow.
And if you look at what we did then to where we are now, the environment has completely changed. More and more people are looking to tune in to an event. More and more people are looking for the full entertainment value of an event. Couple that with the fact that so much of our developers are Japanese, so having them explain the game directly is a little bit more challenging. We could do it in this type of environment, but to do it from a big stage is a little challenging. So for us, we think the best way to bring our message to the fan, to the larger community, is to create an event, to create something that we believe has all of the little Nintendo magic and pixie dust, and communicate that directly. Everything from that opening video with Mr. Wada and myself, the fun we had with Robot Chicken, and the little homage that we made to fans and all of those people who accost me about Mother 3. For us, it's a way to have fun and for a way to communicate the key messages.
But
is it as gratifying? You don't get that instant feedback from a room full of people who freak out when you show Zelda. Like, how is it for you guys on the other side?
Well, what's interesting is you do get that instant feedback. Right? Through social media, we know exactly what people are saying. We know exactly what they're feeling and how they're responding to the message. Candidly, much more directly than we do when we're presenting only to about 3,500 people. So for us, it really is a win-win. The biggest challenge is the fact that we have so much content to announce that we can't do it in one 45-minute event. The other piece for us is we don't believe trying to communicate something over an hour-and-a-half event really makes sense as well. So you folks benefit. We're able to bring key games like Devil's Third here directly to your show, and we're going to continue to unveil news throughout all of E3.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Amiibo then.
Sure.
You've sort of taken the veil off of that, and sort of what can we expect? Will any third-party developers have access to that technology to sort of maybe incorporate some exclusive Nintendo content in exclusive games that are coming to Nintendo? Like, are there opportunities there for that?
There certainly are. For us, the fact that NFC technology is built right into the gamepad really makes it a broad-based platform, right? There's no additional accessory that needs to be sold. It's right there, part of the console. So from there, our vision for Amiibo is to bring, to really make this a platform, to bring a range of different figures. Certainly we're going to start with our content with Smash Brothers, but our vision is to make it much bigger, much more inclusive, and we'd love to see third-party participate.
Okay, excellent. So you'll be sharing the tech. But then what about with Disney Infinity or Skylanders? I mean, is there crossover opportunity there? Is that something you're already talking about?
So two things. First, Infinity, Skylanders, those platforms combined are over 50% of their volume is done on Nintendo platforms, whether it's the Wii U or the 3DS. So we love those platforms, and we look forward to continue having them on our platforms and growing them. The fact is, though, that their technology is different, right? They use a different type of portal, a different type of way to bring that game experience into the game. And so Amiibo is different. It is all NFC-based technology that ties right into the gamepad. So two different approaches.
Perry, you have kids. Are they going to freak out over Amiibo?
Oh, it depends on what he's going to price these things at. That's whether I'm freaking out or they're freaking out. But no,
my job is to find that magical point where they're freaking out and you're not freaking out so much, right?
They're very excited. I mean, anytime you take a virtual character, you make it physical, you put it right there in the living room, I think kids are just right there, right? They're going to be hooked, and they get much more excited about taking the data to their friends, too.
Absolutely.
So, they're freaking out. I think they're also very happy to see Splatoon, games like that, which I was very surprised to see that game. It felt like an answer to the fact that first-person shooters sell really well in the United States, and you don't have a game like Battlefield or Grand Theft Auto on the platform, but then with that Nintendo twist,
the way that I would describe Splatoon is that, our vision is what Mario Kart did to the racing genre, we want Splatoon to do to that action shooter genre. It's going to be uniquely Nintendo, it's going to be uniquely fun, and it's going to be the type of experience that everybody wants to play together. And so far the reaction has been fantastic. Not only the reaction to what we've shared, but even the reaction to certain media that we gave early access to the game. Their feedback has been very positive. So we're very excited to see how that does on the show floor.
Okay. Sort of one of the disappointing pieces of news for Nintendo fans has been sort of the low sales, returns, and especially Nintendo fans love to rally in support of the platform. I sort of want to ask, with what's been going on, has the vision for Wii U changed at all?
The vision for Wii U has not changed at all, right? So what we believe is that unique, compelling experiences are what drive a platform forward, and you do that through the software that's created. And we've been very clear that there were a number of games that launched late last year that we wanted much earlier in the launch window. Games like Pikmin 3, games like Wii Fit U. We wanted those earlier to help drive the install base. Fact is, the development took a little bit longer. They came just before the holiday season. But what we've seen with those games, what we've seen with Super Mario 3D World, and what we're now seeing with Mario Kart 8, and what we anticipate with Smash Brothers, we believe that the system has very good momentum right now, and it's up to us to keep delivering that great content. And that's why we have games like Hyrule Warriors coming this year, why Smash is coming this year, to really keep that pace.
So would you say it's fair to say that you have more games in development than ever before because you are trying to fill some of the gaps left by third parties? Obviously, games like Just Dance and Skylanders do tremendously well, but there are other games that have disappeared from the platform.
So it is fair to say that we have a very robust development pipeline, and it's not just first party. What you're seeing more and more, Devil's Third is a great example of it, is what we call second-party development. So partnering with an established studio to bring some exclusive content to our platform. And then what you're also seeing are the big third parties creating games, yes, like Just Dance, the Lego series, but we're seeing a tremendous indie community really supporting our platform, not only Wii U, but 3DS as well. And those games are doing exceptionally well. And from the developer's standpoint, having those games merchandised side by side with Mario, with legacy Zelda type games, they love it because the traffic is there, the attention is there. And so those independent games are also going to be a very key part of our product pipeline.
Have you ever thought about, taking the concept that you started with Sega and, the makers of Dynasty Warriors to actually go to some of the indies and integrate Nintendo characters like a Minecraft Mario game or something of that sort?
Our hope is that, we'll see an independent developer create their own content, something that is innovative, something that's really compelling. And then absolutely, we'd love to then begin to nurture that relationship, bring some of potentially our IP, and do something much bigger. We think that's a fine way to help grow with those independent developers.
So in the digital event, which those were made by Robot Chicken, I'm assuming, right? Okay,
those were Robot Chicken animations.
So
yes.
there was a slight jab at I want a Star Fox, and it turns out there is a Star Fox.
There is a Star Fox. How about that?
But there was also a jab at Mother 3. Is there a Mother 3 you want to?
I'm not going to give you another announcement here on the show, but when we worked with Robot Chicken and other folks in creating that video, again, what we wanted to do was to recognize our fans, recognize what they want, also have fun with our IP, and we think we struck the right chord, right? Okay. Of having some fun, poking a few jabs here and there, but all done in that unique Nintendo humor.
Okay. So the pins.
Yeah.
Do they tie into game announcements? Because I also did not see Metroid yet.
Well, funny you should ask. I'm wearing a Metroid pin tomorrow. So no, these I'm fortunate. We actually have an employee of ours in our Nintendo World Store in New York who makes these by hand. Wow. So I'm fortunate to have a few. Mr. Miyamoto has a few. Mr. Iwata has a few. So that's the origin of my pins.
All right.
So one more thing that was not mentioned in the Nintendo Digital event, is. During this year, you guys have made a move towards unified accounts. And something that the fans have definitely been talking about is the opportunity for cross-buy, especially on Virtual Console. What's going on? Is there anything, is that still in the works? Is that something that you guys are striving towards? Or is that something that we have to expect to see on the next Nintendo platform?
So we do believe that the Nintendo Network ID, from a conceptual standpoint, is a third platform for Nintendo, meaning we've got our home console, we've got our handheld, and we've got this Nintendo Network ID platform. We think about it this way because now we'll have an ongoing relationship with consumers, a two-way dialogue. We can send messages. We're doing that now through the Wii U, through the alert system we have on the gamepad. And this is going to be a way for us to have that consumer keep track of their purchases and what's going on. So we are seeing this account system as a very important strategic thrust for us. What that means in the future, we'll get into that at a different date, but it's a very important strategic thrust for us.
Why are we not talking about Zelda?
I was just going to say,
That looked amazing.
it looked amazing. It
Yeah.
might be my most anticipated game now.
It's a fabulous, fabulous game. I'm a Zelda fan from way back, and for me as a fan, looking at that video, the open world nature, as was touched on, what we began with Link Between Worlds, I think it's going to be fantastic. A game like that is long in development, and so what we wanted to do was to give enough of a sneak peek so people understand exactly what we're doing. But it's going to be a compelling system driver for Wii U.
I love how it embraces the kind of the Japanese style too. I mean, Link's face, it looks very anime now, and the art style looks just fantastic.
It's a beautiful game. What Mr. Aonuma is doing with it is fabulous. So, like you all, I'm very excited to get my hands on it.
All right. So with, I think right around the launch of Mario Kart 8, you guys brought up that there would be a YouTube affiliate program also sort of happening. Is there any details you can finally share on that? Because folks are very eager to hear what's going on here.
So there's no details that I'm going to share today, but what I will tell you is that we recognize that Nintendo IP is all throughout YouTube. And what we want to do is create a program where we're able to work with the best YouTube creators to give them access to information, access to content, access to executives, to create content that's going to be compelling and drive viewership for them, drive interest for us. And maybe a small example of what we did was the announcement video for the digital event with Mega 64. Partnering with them, giving them access to our building, access to me, to create a fun piece of content. That's our vision and what we're going to be looking to do. So expect to see more details down the road, but it's a way for us to make sure that there's great, compelling content that takes care of the Nintendo IPs out there in the YouTube community.
Okay.
Because they were just about out of time here.
Okay.
Any final questions?
It sounds like
I think just one question on Smash Brothers. You guys like to surprise and delight, and hold some things back for us. And I assume there'll be more coming during the show. But with Smash Brothers, it feels like you're doing the opposite. You just roll everything out, and we see a new character every couple of weeks. Will there be anything left when the game comes out?
How many more hours do we have? I mean, we have a tremendous amount of additional surprises for Smash Brothers. Be sure to be at the round table later today. And not only that game, but you touched on earlier, our vision for E3. Why do we do things differently? E3 is a 4-day marathon, and so we've started today by sharing some information. We have more news that will break tonight at the round table. We've got more news that will break tomorrow. We've got lots of information that we'll be sharing with fans throughout the show. For us, it's all about making sure that we pace ourselves and getting that information out, because we know that the community is just waiting for the next new piece of information.
Reggie, thanks so much for coming by the IGN Live show. There's a lot to be excited about from the Nintendo digital event, so congratulations. Have a great E3.
Thank you so much.